So we have gram-negative cocci. Gram-negative cocci do not take the gram stain, which is a dye used in gram staining procedure. We know that gram-positive cocci would take the gram stain, whereas gram-negative do not take up the gram stain, which is a dye used in gram staining procedure. Then important organism include under the gram-negative cocci is Neisseria species. Okay, so Neisseria species are gram-negative cocci, and they have a typical kidney-shaped structure, but this is in the form of pear. You can see the typical pear arrangement in the form of kidney shape, but they have in the form of pear. So these are gram-negative cocci arrangement, and this is also known as diplococcal because they have two cocci which are paired together. Another important property is that all Neisseria species are oxidase positive. What do you mean by oxidase positive? Oxidase positive mean, you can see in the figure, if you add few oxidase region drops to the bacterial culture, it will yield purple color if they are oxidase positive. Okay, so oxidase region drops are added to the bacterial culture and they will yield purple color if they are oxidase positive, and Neisseria yield the purple color. It means they are oxidase positive. If they yield no color, they are oxidase negative. So it's that simple. Then we have two main Neisseria species. One is Neisseria meningitidis and another is Neisseria gonorrhea. Neisseria meningitidis causes two important diseases. One is meningitis and another is Meningococcus. Meningitis affects the brain layers, which are meninges, and Meningococcus is when the infection spread into the bloodstream. It can affect the vital organ. This is Meningococcus. Neisseria gonorrhea causes gonorrhea, which affects the reproductive tract in both males and females, and neonatal conjunctivitis means it will cause infection in the newborns, also affecting their conjunctiva, which is a layer of the eye. So that's about the Neisseria species, and we have to differentiate between the important properties of Neisseria meningitidis and Neisseria gonorrhea. So first is the portal of entry. Neisseria meningitidis enter the body through the respiratory tract, through the air droplets, and Neisseria gonorrhea enters through the reproductive tract. This is the genital tract. Another important property is that Neisseria meningitidis have capsule. Capsule is an additional structure made up of polysaccharide outside the cell wall. This is present in Neisseria meningitis, whereas it's not present in Neisseria gonorrhea. Okay, and it also gives the pathogenicity, and it may also be present in the vaccine in case of Neisseria meningitidis. And another important property is that Neisseria meningitidis is capability of maltose fermentation. So maltose can be fermented by Neisseria meningitidis. You can remember M for meningitis, M for maltose. So maltose fermentation is a property of Neisseria meningitidis, whereas Neisseria gonorrhea have no property of maltose fermentation. Then we have beta-lactamase production. So beta-lactamase is an enzyme that normally destroy the penicillin. Penicillin is an antibiotic. So beta-lactamase is not produced by meningitis. It means they cannot destroy the penicillin. So penicillin are effective in case of Neisseria meningitidis. This guides the therapy, treatment. And in case of Neisseria gonorrhea, it produces beta-lactamase. It means it will destroy the penicillin. So in short, penicillin will not be effective against the Neisseria gonorrhea. This guides the treatment. So that's an important concept regarding the beta-lactamase production. Then we have another important property, which is the vaccine. So vaccine are effective against the Neisseria meningitidis, and vaccines are available only for Neisseria meningitidis. There is no vaccine available for Neisseria gonorrhea prevention, and the vaccine usually uses the capsule, which is the polysaccharide portion of the Neisseria meningitidis. And unfortunately, there is no vaccine available to prevent the Neisseria gonorrhea, but we have a vaccine to prevent the Neisseria meningitidis. Then we will discuss the pathogenesis, which is first is organism is Neisseria meningitidis. So Neisseria meningitidis, as we already discussed, causes two diseases. One is meningitis, which affects the brain layers, and second is Meningococcus. So Meningococcus is when the infection spread into the bloodstream. It can affect the vital organs, and it can spread, and it typically causes the skin rashes in the form of blue spots. You can see in the figure. These are Meningococcus, and the important treatment for Neisseria meningitidis infection is penicillin. Why penicillin G? Because they do not produce beta-lactamases, so penicillin can act against them. In case of Neisseria gonorrhea, the diseases caused include genital tract infections and neonatal conjunctivitis. Now, genital tract infection can be further divided into local infection, which is urethritis if it affects the urethra, cervicitis if it affects the cervix. Ascending pelvic inflammatory disease, it can ascend into the pelvis causing inflammatory disease, and it can spread into the bloodstream causing disseminated gonococcal infection. Additionally, the Neisseria gonorrhea infection can be transmitted to the newborn during the birth, causing neonatal conjunctivitis. And the treatment for the first two is, that is pelvic inflammatory disease and local infection, is ceftriaxone plus tetracycline. The treatment for the lower two diseases, which is disseminated infection and neonatal conjunctivitis, is ceftriaxone alone. Okay. Remember, we said that penicillin won't be effective here. Why? Because Neisseria gonorrhea produces beta-lactamases, and beta-lactamases can destroy penicillin. Then we have, you can see the figure, and the figure shows the neonatal conjunctivitis. You can see that typical pus around the eyes, so it produces a large number of pus around the eye. It is common in newborn. That's why it's known as neonatal. So neonatal conjunctivitis affect the eyes, layer conjunctivitis causing too much pus production in the eyes, and the treatment is ceftriaxone. Also for prevention, we can use erythromycin silver nitrate drops. So that was all about the gram-negative cocci.